I am rising, orbiting the Earth. Anyway, we're going to do top 20 infamous American gangsters. This is going to be pretty fun. And we're going to start at number 20, so it's going to be a little more obscure than this first one. Good luck. This gentleman was nicknamed the Killer for his violent reputation. He ran speakeasies and nightclubs in New York City during Prohibition. Didn't they all? He controlled the infamous Cotton Club. This is the Cotton Club guy, a hub for jazz and organized crime. He was a key figure in bootlegging operations. He eventually retired to Arkansas, where he lived a quiet life until his death. So I didn't know gangsters quietly retired. I didn't know that was a thing. Anybody know who the Cotton Club guy was? The ran speakeasies, New York City, any of that stuff, bootlegger, retired to Arkansas. Anybody got a guess? It's kind of a hard one. If this was an obscure figure, I had never heard of this guy, I gotta say. I'm going to try to pronounce his first name. His first name is Oni, O-W-N-E-Y, Oni Madden. Oni Madden, 1891 to 1965. Madden is credited with launching the careers of many jazz legends in the Cotton Club. Cool. Next up. This guy is a New York gangster known for his ruthlessness. He made a fortune in bootlegging and the numbers racket. I will say these first few are harder, and then they get easier as we go. More famous names as we go down the list, so don't get discouraged. This guy ignored orders from the commission, which sealed his fate. Sounds like he didn't make it. His paranoia led him to bury a treasure, and the treasure's never been found. So this is the guy that buried a treasure and it was never found. That's pretty cool. He died after being ambushed at a restaurant. So that's kind of the classic mobster. This guy's the basis of the classic monster hit. Reportedly hallucinating on his deathbed. Cool. Anybody got a wild guess? New York gangster known for his ruthlessness. This is Dutch Schultz. Dutch, 1902 to 1935. Did not live long. Schultz's famous last words were a nonsensical monologue that has intrigued historians. Okay, that's fine. Next up. Now, I've heard of this guy, but I don't know if you have. He was known as the Prime Minister of the Underworld. He rose to power by succeeding Lucky Luciano. He focused on political corruption and gambling instead of violence. He did survive an assassination attempt in 1957. And he eventually retired after a long, controversial career. Another gangster who got to retire. The Prime Minister of the Underworld succeeded Lucky Luciano. Survived assassination attempt in 1957. Name a mobster. Sorry, these first three are common. The names get a little more familiar this weekend. This is Mr. Frank Costello. Frank Costello, born 1891, passed in 1973, so he lived a long gangster life. Costello's life inspired the character Vito Corleone. This is the basis for Vito. Frank Costello. We all should have known that. Now we know on Quick Bite History Live. Next up. This gentleman led the Chicago North Side Gang. the bitter rival of Capone. He was targeted in the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Well, I'd say that didn't go well. He lost power after most of his gang was wiped out. Roman, what's up? Good to see you. Happy New Year. We're doing Gangsters. Chicago. This is a Chicago gangster. He was Al Capone's rival. He died in prison after a conviction for bank robbery. He was known for his sharp dress and quick temper. I think that's all of them, right? Sharp dressers, quick temper. It's kind of a gangster thing. Guy's got a cool gangster name, too. Anybody know? Going once, going twice. This is Mr. Bugs Moran. Bugs Moran, born in 1891, passed in 1957. Moran coined the term "only Capone kills like that" after the massacre. Bugs Moran. There you go. Next up. I think the names get more and more familiar as we go down the list. This is number 16. The mob's accountant. A financial mastermind. He played a major role in developing organized crime syndicates. His personal wealth has been a source of speculation for years. This is Mr. Mayor Lansky. Yep. And he actually, I think, might show up again later. We'll see. Lansky was instrumental in creating the National Crime Syndicate. He was born in 1902 and passed in 1983. Mr. Mayor Lansky. Next up. This gentleman was known for his fondness for his Thompson submachine gun. Excuse me. Thompson submachine gun. He's famous for kidnapping of an oil tycoon, Charles Urschel. His wife reportedly pushed him into a life of crime. His wife made him do it. He was caught and sentenced to life in Alcatraz. Bummer. He became a model prisoner after his criminal career ended. He was known for his Thompson submachine gun. That's probably the key clue. Anybody remember a mobster related to a machine gun? Trying to give you the best clue I can. Can you name a mobster related to a machine gun? This is Machine Gun Kelly. Machine Gun Kelly. He was born in 1895 and he passed in 1954. The term G-Man became popular after Kelly's dramatic surrender to the FBI. There he is, Machine Gun Kelly. All right, next up. This is a fun one. She was the matriarch of the infamous Barker Purpose Gang. She allegedly orchestrated robberies and kidnappings with her sons. She doesn't look the same, does she? They're mobsters. They're Italian. They're mobsters. They all look the same. They're wearing hats. Smoking cigars, wearing hats. What can I say? Historians dispute the extent of her criminal involvement, but she was killed in a shootout with the FBI at her hideout. So that's badass enough, right? Who remembers this one? She was the matriarch of the Barker Carpets gang. She became a symbol of the gangster's mother myth. The gangster's mother myth. I don't know that myth. Do you know that myth? I mean, I know the Greek myths. This is Ma Barker. Ma Barker, 1873 to 1935. J. Edgar Hoover exaggerated her role to sensationalize FBI operations. That's cool. Elaborated the story just a bit. You've heard of this guy. Let's see if we can get it. Depression era bank robber, celebrated as Robin Hood figure. Robin Hood figure. He robbed banks while destroying mortgage papers to help debt-ridden farmers. Well, that's cool, right? That is Robin Hood. Now here's the key clue. He was nicknamed Pretty Boy for his dapper appearance. He died in a shootout with law enforcement in Ohio. He was accused falsely of involvement in the Kansas City massacre. Good guess. Not Dillinger. There you go. Hey, wrong box. Got a gangster. He is kind of a pretty boy, isn't he? Strong jaw. Strong jaw. That's right. Pretty Boy Floyd's legend lives on in Woody Guthrie's song, Pretty Boy Floyd. I guess there's a song about it. I don't remember hearing it, but anyway. Okay, I've never heard of this next guy, so you're never going to get it. But we'll see. We almost got the last one. This guy is known as the Brain for his strategic genius. He fixed the 1919 World Series in the infamous Black Sox scandal. This is the guy that fixed the World Series. So that's big. That's important. We should all remember him. I don't think we do. He played a key role in building New York's bootlegging empire. That's good. No side job. He was gunned down over a gambling debt. Ponzi. Was there actually a Ponzi person? I guess there might have been, but I don't think this is Ponzi. That's not part of his name anyway. His death marked the end of an era for an old school crime boss. For old school crime bosses. It was kind of the last of the old school crime bosses. Born in 1882, passed in 1928. Any other guesses? I figured you weren't going to get this one. This is Mr. Arnold Rothstein, or Rothstein if you prefer. Rothstein mentored many future gangsters, including Lucky Luciano. There you go. Okay, you've heard of this next guy. Let's see if you get it. He died young. He's known for his youthful appearance. Well, he died young. And violent tendencies. He partnered with John Dillinger on a series of bank robberies. So this is John Dillinger's partner. He was responsible for the deaths of many FBI agents, more than any other criminal. He died in a shootout with law enforcement, killing 2 agents before succumbing. His nickname belied his ruthless and brutal nature. So this guy has a nickname. And he was John Dillinger's partner. Who had a nickname? Going once, going twice. Sold to Babyface Nelson. Babyface, right? Look at that. face only a mother could love. Nelson's real name was Lester Joseph Gillis, but he earned his moniker from his baby-like face. Baby face. Not pretty boy, baby face. All right, we're halfway home. This gentleman, was this the basis? This is the basis for the TV show, I think. This guy controlled Atlantic City during Prohibition, making it a haven for illegal activities. He was known for his political influence and charm. What was that show called? Boardwalk something? Boardwalk something. Inspired the character Nookie Thompson in Boardwalk Empire. This is the Boardwalk Empire guy. Actually looked a little bit like him, didn't it? He was convicted of tax evasion in 1940s, ending his reign. He continued to live in Atlantic City after his release from prison. He got out. This is Nookie. But what was Nookie's actual name? Nookie? Boardwalk Empire. This is the Boardwalk Empire guy. No, this is Enoch or Nookie Johnson. His last name was Johnson. It's pretty simple. 1883 to 1968. Next up. This gentleman is the enforcer for Al Capone's Chicago outfit. So this is Al Capone's biggest thug. He took over the outfit after Capone's imprisonment. He was known for his quiet demeanor, but brutal efficiency. Yes, indeed. He avoided jail time by using his connections to immediate witnesses. Oh, I'm sorry, to intimidate witnesses. That makes more sense. He did commit suicide to avoid facing a prison sentence. Interesting. Any guesses? You guys don't know your mobsters now. You're going to have to study up, and we'll do some more mobsters. Maybe we'll do worldwide mobsters. Do something different. But this is Mr. Frank Nitti. Frank Nitti. He was born in 1888. As in 1943, Nitti's leadership solidified the Chicago outfit's dominance in organized crime. Hey, Norma, how'd you get that? Good job. Good job. All right, see if we can get the next one. This gentleman is a lawyer turned bootlegger who became one of the richest men of the Prohibition era. He ran a massive whiskey empire, earning millions annually. He inspired the character Jay Gatsby. Really? This is the guy that inspired Jay Gatsby in F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby. He did shoot and kill his wife during a bitter divorce. One way to do it. He claimed temporary insanity and was acquitted. He must have had a little something over on the judge. Anybody remember who this is, this story at all? Inspiration for Jay Gatsby, shot and killed his wife in a bitter divorce. This is Mr. George Remus. George Remus. Remus threw lavish parties, often gifting expensive items to guests, much like Gatsby. There we go, we're down to number 7. This is the Gentleman Don, who led the Philadelphia crime family. He preferred negotiation over violence in settling disputes. Doesn't sound very gangster-like. His leadership brought relative peace to the Philly underworld. He was assassinated by rivals, making the end of his peaceful era. Yeah, that's one way to end it. Who remembers the Gentle Dawn? Anybody know? His death caused chaos and infighting among Philadelphia's mobsters. Don Corleone. No, it's not Don Corleone. But Frank Costello was the inspiration for Don Corleone. Anybody know this guy's name? The Philadelphia guy. The Gentle Dawn. No? Yeah, well, this is Mr. Angelo Bruno. Angelo Bruno was born in 1910 and passed in 1980. Bruno's car was used as the site of his murder, a grim symbol of mob betrayal. Now, interestingly, you get a second shot at the same guy. So we'll try again. See how you do this time. He was nicknamed the mob's accountant for his financial expertise. He played a major role in the development of Las Vegas and Cuban gambling. He helped establish the National Crime Syndicate. He avoided prison despite being heavily involved in organized crime. This guy stayed out of jail somehow. He was heavily involved in funding for Las Vegas and Cuban gambling. He's the mob's accountant. They did retire to Miami, where he lived out his final years. We already did it once. The clues were a little different, and the picture was a little different, but it's the same guy. Anybody know who the mob's accountant is? You can probably Google that. Who's the mob's accountant? It is Mr. Mayor Lansky. Mayor Lansky. Despite his wealth, Lansky claimed to die penniless. Okay, you know this next guy. He was the visionary behind the development of modern Las Vegas. Who's behind Las Vegas? This guy built the Flamingo Hotel, cornerstone of the Las Vegas Strip. Who built the Flamingo? You guys should know that. Close. Very close, Nona. Incorrect. You got his first name right. No, you got it. No, see, other way around. You got his first name right. His lavish spending and mob ties led to his assassination. He was shot in his Beverly Hills home, marking a dramatic end to his life. Who knows? Known for his good looks and Hollywood connections. Who remembers? There were several movies that featured him. There was one really cool one. It was a redo of kind of a LA noir detective thing. This is Mr. Bugsy Siegel. Bugsy Siegel. Sound familiar at all? You know, he didn't live that long. He only lived 41 years. Wow. Bugsy Siegel. Okay. You may know this name. There's a famous mobster. He is considered the father of modern organized crime. He created the commission to oversee mafia activities in the U.S. So the commission was over all the mobs. How cool. He partnered with other crime families to establish a nationwide syndicate. This is the big guy. He was deported to Italy after serving time in prison for racketeering. He continued to wield influence from abroad until his death. Who was that? The head guy of the commission. Anybody know? This is the big guy. Maybe the biggest monster of all time. This is Mr. Lucky Luciano. Lucky Luciano was born in 1897 and passed in 1962. Luciano's leadership style emphasized cooperation, which transformed the Mafia. Yes, indeed. Now, I'm going to bet $100 that you guys get this one. America's most infamous criminal couple during the Great Depression. They robbed banks and small businesses, often glamorized by the media. They lived on the run, frequently evading law enforcement. He did kind of look like Dracula, didn't he? Yeah, you guys got the hey guys, shits and nuts in the house. We got some players. We got some players for sure. We got another round coming up. That's right. This is Bonnie and Clyde, of course, romanticized in popular culture as symbols of rebellion. Bonnie was born in 1901, passed in 1934. Not too old. Clyde was born in 1910, a year later. And of course, he died at the same time, 1934. So, yeah, young folk. Their bullet-riddled car became a macabre attraction for crime enthusiasts. So is it the real one that's on one of those state line casinos? They have the Bonnie and Clyde car. Is that the real one or is that a fake one? Don't know. Two more. We got two more bad guys. Infamous. America's most notorious bank robber during the 1930s. He is known for his daring escapes from jail and police ambushes. Yes. He's known for his daring escapes. He was declared public enemy number 1 by the FBI. This is public enemy number 1. He was shot and killed outside the Biograph Theater in Chicago. Yeah. No one's on the board. His death marked the decline of the Public Enemy's era. Yeah, kind of looks like Clint Eastwood, doesn't it? I think Dillinger was supposed to look a little bit like. Yeah, definitely. Anyway, yeah, John Dillinger is the correct answer. Born in 1903, passed in 1934. That made him only 31 years old. These guys live fast, huh? Dillinger's charismatic personality made him a folk hero to many during the Great Depression. Who can guess who's the number 1 gangster on our list? Most infamous. I bet you guys can guess without the picture. This is Chicago's most infamous gangster during the Prohibition era. He made millions through bootlegging, gambling, and racketeering. He's the dude who ordered the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, solidifying his reputation for brutality. Yes. Almost. No. You guys got it. He was convicted of tax evasion and spent time in Alcatraz. This is part of the story I remember. He died of complications from syphilis. Bummer. After his release from prison. Well, figured they owed it to him, I guess. I don't know. Born in 1899, passed in 1947, and yes, this is Mr. Al Capone, of course. Capone's public image as Robin Hood belied his ruthless criminal activity. I never knew that part. How you guys doing tonight? Everybody have a good New Year? To see some of the familiar faces in the house doing this. So those gangsters ended up getting a little close.